NHA was even more active under the administration of President Benigno Simeon Aquino III. A strong advocacy from the urban poor sector and record-breaking super typhoons guided housing production as well as housing policy. Attorney Chito M. Cruz took the helm at NHA during a time when social challenges and climate change directly affected the housing sector. His efforts and output were recognized by President Aquino when he was asked to be the chairman of the Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council for the rest of the term of the Aquino administration. Achieved highest performance in the provision of housing units through production and housing materials assistance, granted to families resettled in various projects and regions across the nation. Agency response to calamity housing resettlement and rehabilitation. Agency led in housing program for ISFs in danger areas in Metro Manila. AFP and PNP housing, and the housing component of the Zamboanga Rehabilitation, Reconstruction, and Recovery Project.
Shortly after when President Aquino came into office, NHA was called upon to provide housing program for the AFP-PNP. The concept of the program is to provide affordable homes to military personnel belonging to the 3 lowest ranks. GM Chito Cruz then tapped Housing Technology Development Office to design for the uniformed personnel and to prepare the terms of reference for the project. After this, another flagship project of the President, housing program for the families in danger areas, again started with an initial budget of 10 billion. When Typhoon Yolanda came, almost all our planning parameters changed. This is the age of the new normal. We needed to review our standards in response to disaster resiliency and climate change. NHA went into a design conference right after Typhoon Yolanda and consulted major stakeholders to determine our new housing design parameters. I can say that through the years, NHA had learned to adapt, adjust, and reassess and review its programs and housing designs to respond to the changing times.
In response to his covenant with the urban poor, President Aquino's administration committed the amount of 50 billion pesos to fund the housing program for informal settler families living along danger areas of Metro Manila. The program entails the construction of low-rise buildings on idle properties owned by the government, particularly the NGAs, NHA included, and that of the local government units. NHA further included under the program the People's Plan or civil society organizations' proposals, an alternative project scheme wherein the communities, through their identified NGOs, CSOs, with technical assistance and funding from the NHA, come up with their own people's housing plans with a site and model of their choice. Near city and off-city resettlement sites in nearby provinces immediately to the north and south of Metro Manila were also offered to project beneficiaries through the Community-Initiated Approach Program.
To date, a total of 57,078 housing units nationwide were constructed for the uniformed men and women of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, Philippine National Police, PNP, Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, BJMP, Bureau of Fire Protection, BFP, and the Bureau of Corrections, BUCOR. In all our projects, we provide community facilities such as school buildings, covered courts, and multipurpose center. All the awardees will be provided with individual water and power connection, and of course, police outpost and tricycle terminal.
The need for disaster-resilient housing came after Typhoon Yolanda destroyed towns and cities in 2013. Over 200,000 families in 6 regions, 14 provinces, 171 municipalities, and 113 coastal cities were identified to be in dire need of permanent housing in safe areas. Under the Aquino administration, 223,483 families have benefited from the NHA's Housing Assistance Program for calamity victims.
The Zamboanga siege in September 2013 rendered 120,000 civilians homeless. As a member of the Zamboanga City Roadmap to Recovery and Reconstruction, or Z3R, NHA developed new villages and rebuilt communities. Under this program, NHA built culturally sensitive homes for fire-affected victim families. The home materials assistance, we gave 30,000 worth of housing materials to the families in different barangays.
Ang naging tema po sa 4 na dekada ay talagang hindi lang ho pabahay, kung hindi isang sustainable na komunidad na kung saan ang bawat pamilya nararanasan nila ang tunay na isang buhay na mapayapa, maunlad, at sila ay actually engaged in the development. So again, congratulations to the past GMs, to the past AGMs, at of course, yung ating pinakabase ng National Housing Authority, ang empleyado po ng National Housing Authority. Congratulations po sa ating lahat.
In its 40 years of existence, the biggest budgetary support for NHA is under the present administration of President Benigno Simeon Aquino III. The NHA has received so far over 100 billion to fund the various housing projects of NHA, among them the program for informal settler families living in waterways and other danger areas in Metro Manila, the AFP-PNP housing, and the housing for Yolanda victims.
I congratulate NHA on its 40th year anniversary. I would like to congratulate all the management and the staff for the hard work that you have all been doing for NHA and for our people. Ever since I came to the housing sector in 2006, I've been a witness to NHA people's hard work and sleepless nights and tireless days to deliver the housing needs of our people. Maraming salamat dahil kayo ay tumutulong sa ating mga kababayan para sa ating programang pabahay. At alam ko na hindi kayo nawawalan ng pag-asa na somehow, someday, ma-achieve natin ang ating vision na wala ng informal settlers dito sa ating bansa. Congratulations!
I'd like to first greet NHA, especially the managers and the rank and file on its 40th year anniversary. You've come a long way. You know the important role that you play in providing the much needed socialized housing for our countrymen. The success of NHA during the administration of President Benigno Aquino stems from the fact that the presidency strongly supported and pushed for the accomplishments in the housing sector. You can see that the president gave housing as a priority development during his term. This is made manifest by the fact that he himself crafted a lot of the housing programs that we are implementing here in NHA. No? I do believe that with all the support of the President, the men and women of NHA will be able to fulfill all this responsibility for not only for the President, but for the whole country as well.